Welcome, everyone. It seems that it's now noon, so we'll get started. I appreciate you being here for my annual Lenten noontime series. This is the first one of 6, running up to the Wednesday before Easter. So each Wednesday I'll be playing different pieces, talking about the organ, and I announce the pieces every week. Around the church and up here on the little stand are some brochures about the organ. There are some at each of the doors as well. If you're interested in the technical aspects of the organ and stops and number of pipes and things like that. But just a brief history, those of you who attend here have heard this, but this organ was built in Italy. It's built by Ruffati, which is the last name of the two brothers that own it. In fact, the name of the company is Fratelli Ruffati, which means Ruffati brothers. They are the second set of brothers that have run this company. It started in about 1940 in a little city near Venice called Padua. So this organ was constructed over a 4-year period of time and shipped to our church in 2 installments, 2 shipping containers, built from the back to the front, of course. So the last things installed were the trumpets that you see sticking out from the facade. All the pipes in the front organ play. So all of these facade pipes, the silver pipes and the brass trumpets play. The rear gallery back here, there are 700 pipes between the 2 cases. And I'll be playing some pieces each week that feature the antiphonal pipes, and you can hear some of the effects that creates. The facade pipes in the rear do not play, and that was a purposeful design because there are people sitting very close to those pipes, and if you happen to be sitting upstairs, you might hear just one, a nearby pipe playing in your ear. So all of the pipes that play are inside the case, but the facade pipes were designed to mirror the facade in the front of the church. So the first piece I'm going to play for you today is on a very famous hymn tune. The hymn tune name is Hyfrydal, but the hymns associated with it are Love Divine, All Love's Excelling, or Alleluia, Sing to Jesus. And it features our trumpets. So you'll hear the melody. It's a staccato-style piece, very rapid pattern in the hands, and then the melody in my left hand on the trumpet. But I hope you enjoy this setting of this hymn tune, Hyfrydal. I always like to start with a piece that features a trumpet so that you all can hear those right off the bat. That's the most prominent feature in this Rafati organ. The next piece I would like to play for you is by Dietrich Buxtehude. May not be a familiar composer to some of you, but this is a generation before Bach, and he had a big influence on the music of Johann Sebastian Bach. There's a very famous story of Bach walking 200 miles to hear Buxtehude's evening concert series. He was supposed to be there for just a few months, and he overstayed and almost lost his church job when he returned to the town that he left. He got there just before Easter and managed to keep his own church job. But he was so influenced by the style of Buxtehude, which you'll see is kind of an improvisational style. So as I play it, I have to kind of pretend that I'm creating this music out of, a thin air, and as a matter of, as just, a Sunday morning prelude. But it alternates between an improvisational section and then an imitative section where you'll hear the same musical snippet used throughout the hands and feet. And it goes back and forth between those two kind of styles. It also will use some of this antiphonal stops. There's a quiet section in the middle. You may hear sounds coming from the rear. And I hope you enjoy this Preludium in D major by Dietrich Buxtehude. That music is a lot of fun to play. It's just kind of, it's so, kind of always changing. It's like a musical scene of always another scene on the way. This next piece is very famous. It's the Arioso by Bach. Very famous melody. This is an arrangement by Virgil Fox, who is a well-known concert organist in the 20th century, toured all over, and he was well-known for making kind of a symphonic-style transcription of famous pieces, either organ pieces or pieces written for orchestra, and then reduced in scope to work on the organ. So this is not your traditional organ Bach piece, but it starts off with all kinds of different stops on the organ. If you listen carefully, you'll hear some little bells tinkling. It's the celesta stop mixed in with everything. It builds to huge crescendos and then ends with some of the very softest stops on the organ. So you'll recognize this melody right away, the Arioso by Bach. A little side note for you, not related to the organ, but you may see here in the cross aisles these open Bibles. This is a recent gift to our church. It's called the St. John's Bible, and it's a copy. There were only 290 copies made of this original handwritten Bible. It's the first handwritten Bible in 500 years, and we are fortunate to have one of what they're called the Heritage Edition copies. So there are 2 volumes open to what are known as illuminations, the artwork inside the Bible. The original was done by the scribe to the former Queen of England. His name is Daniel Jackson. It was a project that took 15 years to complete. And it's affiliated with the St. John's College in Collegeville, Minnesota. Benedictine monks worked with Donald Jackson to create this. And in fact, they spent 7 years creating the copies, which are incidentally designed to last 1,000 years. So the artwork is quite amazing, beautiful illuminations, and I invite you to take a look on your way out today. We'll have these open to you to view each Wednesday at the Lenten concerts. So it's just a wonderful, special thing besides the Rafati organ, our amazing cerulean blue cross here, and now the St. John's Bible. So please do learn more. I think there are brochures about the cross and the Bible and the organ around the church. The next piece is a hymn tune, a Lenten tune, When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, arranged by Dale Wood, who is a Lutheran organist and very prolific arranger of hymn tunes. There are many volumes of these beautiful settings of hymn tunes, and I play them throughout the year, many of these tunes for the various times in the church here. There's a set for Christmas, a set for Lent, a set for just general times, and some spirituals and things like that. The one thing I'll say about Dale Wood's composing is that he loves these kind of rich harmonies and lots of color changes in the organ, lots of stop changes. The solo stop you'll hear at the beginning will be coming from the back, so I'll be accompanying the melody with the stops in the front of the organ, and you'll hear the solo from the back. So this is When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, arranged by Dale Wood. Before I play the last piece, I just want to invite you all to attend the organ recital, organ concert here on Sunday, this coming Sunday at 4. Concert organist Adam Brakel will be here performing on this Ruffati organ. He is an organist from the Orlando area, but he is a true virtuoso. I have invited him back after playing a concert for us 4 or 5 years ago that was just amazing. So he will present a varied program, some famous Bach works and others that are, some Vidor and not the famous toccata that we play at Easter, but one of the other organ symphony movements, and some Franck and some early music. I think he's doing an opera transcription. Anyway, he's a real wonderful artist, and I invite you to come back at 4 o'clock this Sunday afternoon. The final piece I want to play for you is a toccata-style piece by a man named Percy Fletcher, who composed this, I think, in the early 1900s, around 1915. And he lived and worked in the London area, actually worked in London theaters as a music director. He wrote a few symphonic pieces, and a few pieces for the organ. This is his most famous piece for the organ, called Festival Toccata, and he dedicated it to world-famous organist Edwin Lemaire. Edwin Lemaire toured all over the United States, played in these concerts that would hold thousands of people and would fill the hall with all of these people. He was, I think his record was 10,000 people in one organ concert. Anyway, he was very well known for playing symphonic transcriptions and all of that style. But anyway, Percy Fletcher in 1915 wrote this piece called Festival Toccata and dedicated to Edwin Lemaire, and I'd like to close the concert with that. After I finish this piece, as always, please feel free to come up and take a look at the organ console. We'll gather here, and then each Wednesday I'll take a group back behind the wall here into the organ chamber so that you can really see just what a magnificent instrument this is. So close the concert now with Percy Fletcher's Festival Toccata. Thank you again for coming. Please feel free to come up and take a look at the organ.